All right, y'all. This is Lucas Coldway, and this is Prolifically Born Again. And today I'm gonna shock you with what we have just come across. If you truly don't believe in God, watch what's about to happen. As well as if you do believe in God, watch very closely and pay attention. This is unbelievable, but so believable for me, my friend.
The scientific community is melting down over the discovery of Sodom and Gomorrah. This is a crazy story, and what I love most about this is any of you guys who've ever been interested in going to Israel, when you go, you will discover the amount of archaeological evidence that confirms different people in the Bible, like Pontius Pilate, different streets that were courts, like David's palace, they didn't think existed, and they find it. It is beyond fascinating, all of the amazing archaeological discoveries that just happened within the last 20 years, okay? And so this story is much like that because it perplexes scientific community. Like, oh, there's no way that could have happened. That doesn't make any sense. How could that biblical story be true? That's just a fantasy. And sure enough, there is now archaeological evidence that Sodom, from the Bible story, existed. Okay, scientific community meltdown over controversial discovery of biblical Sodom. The city remains in a fury near the Dead Sea. Have archaeologists at odds. Okay, so it's very interesting. So I wanted to show you guys this clip from one of my favorite Catholic creators, believe it or not, and he interviews John Bergsma on this topic. This is Pints with Aquinas, Sodom and Gomorrah.
Sodom and Gomorrah. That is one of the most sensational stories
Sum it up for those
in recent history.
Yeah, not as where they should be.
Yes. Okay. I mean, so Sodom and Gomorrah, it looks like one of those mythological stories out of the Bible, right? Oh yeah, sure. You know, fire comes from heaven. Yeah, tell me another one. And I'll be honest with you, Matt. When I was growing up and reading Genesis 19 and stuff like that, it was a challenge to my faith. I'm like, okay, come on, really? You know, this really happened? Or we're supposed to understand this? Several years ago now, maybe like 15 years ago, I was at the Society of Biblical Literature, which was being held in that year in San Francisco. I just wandered into this session because it had an intriguing title, something about archaeological discoveries at Tel El Hammam in Jordan. I thought, I'll walk into this. I started listening, and as I'm listening to this presentation for about 45 minutes, near the end of it, I began to realize, oh my gosh, these people presenting think that they have found the biblical cities of Sodom and Gomorrah.
That's crazy. Okay, now where do they think Sodom and Gomorrah is? Well, as we looked at it earlier, they believe that it's near the Dead Sea Scroll. What everyone agrees on, something unusual happened at Tal El Hammam, an ancient settlement near the Dead Sea. In a layer of ancient earth, archaeologists claim to have found the evidence of an apocalyptic event. Melted rooftops, disintegrated pottery, unusual patterns in the rock formation that could be caused with intense heat. For another 3 to 6 centuries after 1650 BC, the settlement, 100 acres, lay fallow.
So at the end of the presentation, they stop the presentation and they open up for questions, and they describe these 2 city mounds that they had found on the Jordanian side of the Jordan River, and in this destruction layer and so on. And so I raised my hand immediately and I said, well, did you find any arrowheads? The reason I asked that, Matt, is when you have a destruction layer of an ancient city, if you find arrowheads in the destruction layer, it means that an army caused the destruction and they were shooting arrows at the defenders and blah, 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 blah.
Okay. That's interesting.
If you find a destruction layer and there aren't arrowheads, that means an army did not destroy the city, and then probably it was some kind of natural event.
Whoops. Can you guys all see where this is going?
Right? So I'm curious, like, what destroyed these 2 cities that you guys think are Sodom and Gomorrah? And so the researcher starts to get very bashful when I ask this question. He says, well, I don't really want to go there, but all I want to say while we're recording the session is that it was a heat event.
Okay, why this is so fascinating is because people repeatedly attempting to disprove parts of the Bible repeatedly get egg on their face because there are more and more of these stories that are confirmed by archaeology and then also confirmed in other non-biblical accounts and other oral traditions. Now we have Sodom and Gomorrah, and obviously the flood is another one of those, right? So it's very fascinating that this sort of stuff continues to get confirmed.
And there's like 20 other people in the room, and we're like looking at each other like, a heat event? Like, is that like a wardrobe malfunction? Like, what is
global warming, ladies and gentlemen? It was global warming.
A heat event. Like, okay, and then he stopped the recording, like the official session was over, and so it was like off camera at this point. So all of us in the room like mobbed the guy at the front, like, okay, tell us what's going on. And so this researcher, Stephen Collins from a southwestern university in the U.S. here, he says, okay, so we get down to this destruction layer of this city that we're beginning to think is Sodom, and we pulled up a piece of pottery. And when I looked on one side of it, I thought, oh no, our research is ruined, because I saw that it was glazed. And glazing wasn't invented until the Ottoman period, or at least the kind of glazing that he thought he saw. And the Ottoman period is like 1000 AD.
Right.
And if you're pulling that up, that means you've got contamination in your archaeological dig. You got like later artifacts down there. But then he turned the pottery over, and on the back of it, it was typical Bronze Age pottery. It was glazed on one side and not on the other. Like, what on earth is going on? So, make a long story short, he sends this away to a lab in the U.S. and for testing, and they come back and say, well, that glazing is trinitite. Okay, great. What's trinitite? Well, trinitite is that glass layer that you get when you basically set off an atomic bomb in the desert, and it melts the glass, and you get a kind of crystalline formation that's called trinitite. So,
wow. Okay. Learn about new elements here. Feel smarter by the moment.
this pottery was raised to over 4,000 degrees Fahrenheit for a brief moment of time. Oh my gosh,
wow.
This is what's going on.
4,000 degrees.
They continue to bring up this glazed pottery, and eventually what they discover is, among other things, they also begin to find human remains. They find human skeletons that are complete up until about halfway up the backbone, and then there's just a scorch mark, and there's nothing on the top of the body. And they find a skeleton behind a wall that's about, 4 feet high. So what's going on here? Well, long story.
Another abstract vodka ad.
Oh my God.
We're good.
This is
No
so
less vodka.
In
awesome.
short, they find massive evidence that a huge heat blast from the sky at about 25 degrees above the horizon incinerated these twin cities on the Jordanian side of the river.
Y'all see that? Did you all listen to that? And let me just tell you something. This isn't fake news. This isn't deep fake. They found Sodom and Gomorrah. Like, they found the biblical place where fire fired from the sky and cut people in half and scorched the whole area. They found the proof of it in the exact spot. Ladies and gentlemen, this is actual proof that God is real right here. Let's continue.
This is crazy. This is crazy. I mean, yeah, buddy. Yeah, God don't play. Wow. This is insane. Wow.
Just north of the Dead Sea. Yeah. And they have the artifacts to prove it.
The reason it had to be from above?
Because of the angle, like they have these human remains that apparently were standing upright behind a wall, and everything above the wall was incinerated, and they do like the angular calculations, and they can see, oh, that blast was coming like this, so they can calculate the angle at which, and the stuff when they find the stuff in situ, and they've got a scorched side or a melted side, again, they can triangulate where this was coming from. And so, long story short, from a natural material explanation, this looks like a meteor blast.
That's what I was about to ask. What was the naturalistic explanation?
Yeah,
of course, the naturalist can be like, "It's a meteor blast. The meteor blast. It was aliens. The aliens shot lasers. Pew 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 pew. They shot lasers at us." And then the Christians are like, wait. We know what this is. We've been talking about this for thousands of years.
Like in Tunguska, I think it was called Siberia back in the 1800s. There was this, massive meteor blast that flattens, several hundred square miles of taiga, of northern Russian forest and so on. And when a meteor comes into the atmosphere, it heats up and then explodes, and it can be like an atomic blast. But again, the timing and the location and the cities all track with what is described of Abraham and Lot in Genesis 19 and the surrounding chapters. And then the Bible talks a lot about Sodom and Gomorrah for centuries thereafter, all the way into the prophets like Isaiah and Jeremiah continue to mention Sodom and Gomorrah. This stuck in the cultural memory because this was a major world historical traumatic event for us, like the two towers going down, you know, like this major disaster where these two cities were entirely wiped out by a heat blast from the sky, you know, by the hand of God, as it were. But no historical source records this, even though Sodom and Gomorrah were arguably the two most powerful cities in that entire region. They were at a trade route, you know, from going from east to the west, from Egypt out to.
Sheesh, man. You know what the interesting part about this is? This really, when you think of the story of Sodom, and remember, Jesus mentions the story of Sodom and Gomorrah. Okay, so whatever is confirmed by Jesus, it should be taken literally. Meaning, Jesus confirms Sodom and Gomorrah. Jesus confirms Adam and Eve are literal people. It's not symbolic. It's not a literary device. It's a literal thing that happened. So what reminds me of this is Jesus, who died for our sins, rose on a third day, created a pathway for us to be in right standing with God. It just reminds me that the story of Sodom and Gomorrah reminds us that the justice of God and the wrath of God and the need to deal with humanity's deplorable, wicked behavior is just as alive in the Old Testament and in the New Testament, right? Like in the New Testament, Jesus deals with it, but he doesn't downplay it. It's not like, oh, well, you know, God was wrong, or God was a bad guy in the Old Testament. Some of us approach the Bible like that, as if like, oh, you know, God was kind of mean in the Old Testament, but
Okay, anyways, so I hope y'all got that in you, cause I mean, like, this is just more evidence. This is just more evidence of the truth of God, of Jesus Christ, and the reality of the truth of it, you know. And not only that, like, I like it when I'm actually watching like a professional outlet on TV, and the guy is saying pretty much, he's explaining things the exact same way that I explain it, so I know that I'm like spreading the message in the right way, which is good, because you know which ones are real and which ones aren't real, you know. But this is this is a completely other level. I mean, oh man, for all the viewers watching this, send this video to whoever you can. Please press the like button, subscribe to my channel. These are the kind of things that we're gonna get on this channel. I'm gonna find the best authentic proof of God any way I can, and I'm gonna show it, you know. But anyways, I'm praying for y'all. Pray for me. Subscribe to the channel. Press like. I'll see you next time. Peace out.